So yesterday I was talking about this article where basically British women need to bonk for Britain. Basically, they need to get it together, get that birth rate together because the baby boomers are retiring and Britain's economy is about to flounder. I am going to come back and do an update because a black woman living in Britain has given me some more details. So I'm going to come back to that at the end. I was also talking about how Putin needs the Russian women to hunch for humanity. He has plunged Russian men into this war. They are sustaining a bunch of losses because of this Ukrainian war. It's not going that well. They need more people to keep feeding into the war machine. So, Russian women, y'all need to get to hunching because Putin said he needs y'all to have about 8 to 10, 100 kids and get that population back up. That brings us to Kim Jung Un. Kim Jong Un needs women to fill up that womb. Doesn't really rhyme. I'm still working on that, but basically, Kim Jong Un needs women to hunch for the humanity of North Korea. So Kim Jong Un, fill up your womb. I don't know. Somebody's gonna have to work on that with me. It's just not flowing as well. But anyways, get to hunching for humanity because Kim Jong Un says he's calling for women to have more children to stop the declining birth rates. Let's get into this. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un says it's the duty to give up the booty. So let's get that birth rate under control. It's the women's duty to give up that booty. Let's drop it down and get your eagle on, girls. Kim Jong-un said it's the duty of women to halt a fall in the country's births in order to strengthen national power, state media said on Monday, as his government steps up the call for people to have more children. While getting a detailed read on North Korea's population trends is extremely difficult because of the limited statistics it discloses, South Korea's government assesses that the North's fertility rate has declined steadily in the past 10 years. That is a concerning development for a country that depends on mobilized labor to help keep its broken and heavily sanctioned economy afloat. Stopping the decline in birth rates and providing good child care and education are all of our family affairs that we should solve together with our mothers, Kim said in his opening speech. According to South Korea's government statistics agency, North Korea's total fertility rate, or the average number of babies expected to be born to a woman over her lifetime, was at 1.79 in 2022, down from 1.88 in 2014. The decline is still lower than its wealthier rival South Korea, whose fertility rate has plummeted into Satan's pantry at 0.78, down from 1.2 in 2014. South Korea's fertility rate, the lowest in the developed world, is believed to be due to a potent cocktail of reasons discouraging people from having babies, including a decaying job market, a brutally competitive school environment for children, traditionally weak childcare assistance, and a male-centered corporate culture where many women find it impossible to combine careers and family. While North Korea is one of the world's poorest nations in the world, the change in its demographic structure is similar to that of rich countries, some observers say. Many families in North Korea also don't intend to have more than one child these days, as they know they need lots of money to raise their kids, send them to school, and help them get jobs. An, who has interviewed many North Korean defectors, said the smuggling of vast amount of South Korean TV dramas and movies in the past 20 years that showed the elevated social status for women has also likely influenced women in North Korea not to have many children. North Korea implemented birth control programs in the 70s and 80s to slow a post-war population growth. The country's fertility rate recorded a major decline following a famine in the mid-90s, and it was estimated to have killed hundreds of thousands of people, the Seoul-based Hyundai Research Institute reported in August. Now, if they are poor, if they are out here trying to, get people to have more jobs and all of that, maybe they should fix that part. That's the part that I don't understand. These men in charge simply will not get a hold of things. They want to push women to have more babies, like, yay, let's go have some babies, but they're not fixing the underlying issues. And I just don't understand why they won't fix the issues. Given North Korea lacks resources and technological advances, it could face difficulties to revive and develop its manufacturing industry if sufficient labor forces are not provided. According to North Korean state media reports this year, the country has introduced a set of benefits for families with 3 or more children, including preferential free housing arrangements, state subsidies, free food, medicine, and household goods, and educational perks for children. We'll see if that gives them a bump. South Korea's statistics agency estimates the North's population at 25.7 million. The Hyundai Institute report said that North Korea was expected to experience a population shrink from 2034 and forecast its population would decrease to 23.7 million by 2070. On the website has said that Kim Jong Un's repeated public appearances with his young daughter, Ju A, are also likely to be efforts to encourage families. Other experts said the daughter's appearances were more likely an attempt to show she's her father's heir. Okay, so there we have it. All right, girls. He said it. Let's go. Let's have some babies. Okay, now to give you guys some more details on the British situation that I was talking about yesterday. Britain's economy is looking like America's economy in that they have a bunch of baby boomers that are about to retire. They have pensions that are going to have to be paid. They're going to have medical bills and all of that stuff. And we're not having enough kids. Basically, our birth rate mirrors that of Britain's birth rate. So that's the reason why I found it to be interesting. So this woman said, "Hey, love, watching your Hunch for Humanity post on YouTube. I don't comment much on other social media because of my job and that I use my real name there. But PC is percent. And yes, there are a number of issues in the UK. Housing is unaffordable and healthcare, although free, is under great strain due to the current party underfunding it for 13 years so it could sell the NHS by piecemeal to US pharma and insurance companies. See Thatcherism and privatization in the UK, which has led England to have the only private water utility supplier in the world. And the current government loves to blame immigration." This sounds exactly like the United States. The way big pharma owns everything. They own everything, and that is the reason why the medical situation is unsustainable. All right, so they love to blame the immigrants, which is funny, as immigrants are working mostly in social care, taking care of the elderly, and the NHS, both disproportionately used by pensioners than anyone else. Immigrants are younger and less likely to use the NHS, and they often retire in their home countries as well. The other hilarious thing about them complaining about the low birth rates, they mean low white British birth rates. Every year we see a panicked article about how the percentage of children were born to non-EU mothers, which means not only foreign but likely to be black and brown, and how these women have more children than British-born women, etc., which is ridiculous because if the aim it was the birth rate, you see it. Naturalized first-generation immigrants have more children, come from former British colonies usually, so already speak the language and understand the culture. Put more into the system in taxes than they take out on benefits. Most aren't eligible for the first 5 to 10 years of residence in the UK anyway, and are more likely to work in NHS or social services roles. She continues with, "I have one child and earn just over £100,000 a year while living in London. I can barely afford the child I do have. Childcare costs me £15.99 a month for 4 days a week, and similar in rent for my flat. That's more than 60% of my income. My child is in school now, and this has come down, but school holidays means I still have to pay £70 to £100 a day for childcare. I'm lucky. I can afford it I can afford it even if it is barely. I used to get some state help when I earned just below the cap, which was £100 to £300 per month, depending on childcare costs. I was earning roughly £72,000 at that time." So it basically sounds like they need childcare help and housing costs are ridiculous and they're not making enough money. So that's what it sounds like to me. So basically, still, leaders need to get it together. And it's not about babies in general. It's about palm-colored people's babies. not the darker hued. Anyways, go ahead, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, share.